Good morning and welcome to the Mike Show for Sunday, August 9, 2026. 64 degrees at 8:17 a.m. And I am your host, Bob Kamal, and I'm a sinner. And I'm powerless and my life is unmanageable. Humility and gratitude are the keys to life. It's always today, it's always now. My life is not my own. My will not be done. There's no reality but God. And the only thing we have to do is die. So how are we going to live today? And I hope and pray I can live from my heart a life based on faith and not fear. There's my fairy tale princess Elsie. And there's Ruthie back from the hunt. And there's Coke. There's Coke on the hunt. And a little while ago, Gracie came tearing across the yard and went down into the basement. So I don't know what she had and what was going on, but she's a killer. Mackie's back inside. Where's the princess going? She sharpened her claws. There's Coke. There's my Coke. Oh, Chloe. Look at these baby girls. They're not little girls anymore, are they? They're little ladies. They're 2 years old. They're still always going to be my baby girls, so. Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful morning here in this bucolic dwarf I call home. And we're looking for a high of 82. I know you're going to find it hard to believe, but I didn't have a very good night's rest. Oh, there's Gracie. Look at my three bebas. Uh-oh, what was that all about? Ugh. What was that all about? Ugh. Anyway. Yeah, I got woke up about 4 in the morning. I never really did entirely fall back to sleep. Two guys, I don't know if they were jogging by or walking by or what, but just the sound of them talking woke me up. Uh-oh, what's going on out there? We might have to go track them down and get them from going across the street. I think I better go do that. Welcome back. And I don't really mean that. And I didn't mean it when I said good morning either. Well, we got them back here. That little stunt just took another year off my life. They all just went tearing across the street. Didn't check for traffic, nothing. Gracie just flat laid down right in the street. There's that Ruthie again. I don't know where Elsie went. Mackie's back inside. Oh, boy. So anyway, coffee's tasting pretty good, and right at this point in time, I'm planning on going for a bike ride this morning. I'd like to get about a 20-miler in, but we'll see. First things first. Get some prayers in me and some readings and some coffee and take care of these baby girls and Elsie and Max. And then get on a ride. Oh boy. So anyway, yesterday's thumbnail was a shot of our beloved Sullivan. Old Sully. His original name was Friend. And he showed up in the summer of... Oh, when was that? Was it 2021? Oh, Sully, it took a long time to get him to trust us and get to know him and get him an appointment to get him into the vet, get him checked out, get him neutered. It was a long process that summer. And he had a lot of issues, infected ears and mites, and took a while to get him to trust me, get that vet appointment, but it all worked out. And it was early in October that year. We were able to get him a vet appointment. Dr. Greenfield agreed to keep him overnight because we didn't know if we'd be able to get him in 2 days in a row for his appointments. So they kept him overnight. And he got his exam, and then she neutered him the next day, and we picked him up after work. We were working out in Posen, Wayne and I, and it was on a Wednesday because at that point in time the vet's office was open late on Wednesdays, and, which I was grateful for because we worked long and weren't able to finish what we were doing. It wasn't something we could walk away from. I think it was a flood damage job. And anyway, Sully came here, and it took him a while to go from being a stray to staying home all the time. I'd let him out in the morning, and I'd go to work, and then he'd do what I called going to work, and then when I'd come home from work, he'd show up around 7-ish like he did, which was his pattern for that summer, and eventually he just decided to stick around. And he was a really good boy, and he didn't like to share me with the others, but that Gracie's having fun. But he was a good boy, and him and Sam got along real good. I mentioned some of that yesterday, how they used to fight. It was all play, but yeah, they were good pals. Maxie and him got into a knockdown, drag-out fight one time before he was an official member of our family. Neither one won or neither one lost. Neither one was willing to quit the fight. Well, they did quit the fight. They both just kind of stood there after a while. Anyway, Sully was a good boy, and he was FIV positive, and we ended up losing him in February of 2025. He had kidney disease. Lost so many good companions and pals and brothers and sisters to that. He was diagnosed at the end of December of 24 and was gone at the end of February 25. Oh boy, with that we're going to take a little break. Well, we are back again. I just rounded up everybody. Actually, just Chloe. Everybody else came in on their own. They had their treat. And, yeah. Oh, boy, I don't know if they left her any. But that's what happens when you don't come when it's time to have a treat. Yeah, she's getting some. There's Ruthie and her. There's that Gracie again. Look at Gracie. How could you not love that little face? And Mackie, Uncle Max. Oh, Uncle Max. Oh, boy. Ruthie, can you say hello? You're going to spill that water, aren't you? That footy right there, I don't know which one of them brought it home, but one of them on yesterday's morning adventure came home with that. I thought at first it might have been my niece's. Where'd else go now? She must have went back upstairs. There's Ruthie playing with the water. So anyway, they had quite a time with that little footy. Anyhow. So, what did we do yesterday, sweethearts? Oh, my niece had to work for 10 o'clock, so I went out and picked her up and gave her a ride to work. I came home from there and hopped on my bike and pedaled to the credit union, Marine Market, Farmers Market. Hit both farmers markets yesterday. One of them's kind of more or less of a co-op. But, yeah, I scored some locally grown onions and jalapenos, Eggy Wigs. I usually get my Eggy Wigs at Marine Market because I know the people that supply them there. But they were out, so I happened to get some at Farmers Market. And the guy couldn't break, all I had was a $50 bill, which is unusual for me. Usually if I got any money on me, it's like $1 or $2, if that. And the guy said, hey, you just take him if you're going to come back next week. And I said, you know what? I really appreciate that, and I would pay you back. Uh, but I can't guarantee I'm going to be here next week. So I just went to a couple different stalls or whatever you call them, and eventually broke the 50. I got a cinnamon roll too from Brad. He makes awesome cinnamon rolls, and it survived the night. I'll probably have that this morning after I have my bike ride. Anyway, so what else did we do after that? I went to go see my buddy Johnny Shaz. I mistakenly thought his birthday was yesterday. It's actually today. And they're into some catnip and killing flies now. But yeah, we had a chat, and he was on his way to Save-A-Lot, so I just hopped off the bike and walked along with him, and we shot the bull and caught up for a little bit. Hadn't seen him in a while, a couple weeks anyway. And I had a feeling I was going to run into him that day. And just as I was pulling into go knock on the door, he was coming out, so it was meant to be. It was another one of those things. Oh boy, what else we got going on? So anyway, after coming home from that, I didn't really do much after that. For lunch, I had a piece of salmon and some asparagus my niece gave me that she cooked. And she's a good cook. I'm really surprised. It's amazing if you knew what she was like when she was little and how picky an eater she was, to know, and just in conversation with her since she's been back here, she knows her way around a kitchen. There's no doubt about that. And yeah, that salmon, and I could have made a meal out of about a pound of that asparagus. And anyway, we just basically just hung out here all day. Did some laundry. I kept smelling crap, like cat crap, and Maxie had an infected poopy butt, so I thought that was part of the problem, but I thought maybe he just, left his scent on some of the blankets on Autumn's bed in the living room. So I washed them, and I still kept smelling it, and long story short, I find a turd underneath the desk, and that seemed to take care of that foul odor in the room. And I don't know if it was Maxie or Elsie that dropped that little noogie. I'm thinking it was Elsie. And in a way it was good, because I see she is eating a lot more than I thought. And she is eating her kidney food now, which I'm grateful for. And she seemed to be quite active this morning. But yeah, anyway, we just spent the afternoon hanging out with the Loves, ended up reading to them later in the day. Trying to think what I had for supper. I made a burger, like 3-ish. We went outside in the afternoon. The girls were once again very good about sticking around, as far as them sticking around goes. Hey, Mackie. Hey, Bubby. Yeah. Oh, Mackie. So anyway, we put some ointment on Maxie's dupa, and he seems to be better as far as the infection. The old sphincter was inflamed. With that, we're going to take a little break. Well, we are back again. There's that Gracie. And there's Mackie. Oh no, there's Mackie. And there's Coke. I don't know where Ruthie is. The princess is upstairs. Despite what the weather conjurers spells say, I think we're going to get some rain today. One other note before we close out of this thing. These flock cameras. I am so against technology, and I've declared war on technology the best I can. I'm mostly using a flip phone now, and rarely carry phones with me, so I'm not being tracked everywhere I go. Despite I know there's cameras everywhere, but I'm not personally handing them the information via a phone. And while I'm mostly on board with Sheriff Grady Judd in Polk County, Florida, he made a comment about them flat cameras, how they were able to catch a criminal. Somebody, had some serious charges against them. convictions, etc. There's just too much potential for abuse, and so I'm all on board with them people that are going down and destroying them, cutting them down. We weren't asked for them; they were just pushed on us, foisted on us. More police state tactics that I am against. If the judges would be locking up people and not letting them out, or giving them cash-free bail and all that, that's the legislature's doing that. But if people were held accountable, there wouldn't be no need for flock cameras. They could catch criminals the old-fashioned way. And I'm sorry, these data centers and all that other bullshit, they're just surveillance. They're just places to store information that has been stolen from us, all the spying that they're doing. So anyway, I don't know what the hell that was all about, but that's all we got. So I'm going to saddle up and go for a bike ride and have no idea what we're going to do today. So from the cold gray ashes and coals of my cold black heart, my broken, beaten, battered, bruised, bloody, burdened, empty, hollow, cracked, shattered, hopeless, forsaken, forlorn, bitter, angry, tired, resentful, twisted, convoluted, confused, grieving, happy, ungrateful soul, piss off, happy Sunday, and thanks for not tuning in.